Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Chris from my channel, Chris P44S, and I have a special deck tech style video for you today. Something that I've been working on for a little while, basically just testing a lot. But as you probably know or can guess from the title of the video, it is a fellowship of dwarves, kind of built around the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books slash movies. And I started building it because I wanted to play with dwarves. Like, I wanted a dwarf deck. And this is basically like after I built the dwarves deck, probably, I don't know, like a month ago or something. Like shortly after Throne of Eldraine came out, because I was like, there's so many dwarves. Like, how cool would it be to build a dwarves deck? And then lately I've kind of been like, maybe I can build something with a lot of flavor from the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. I tried to stick kind of more towards the Hobbit because in Lord of the Rings the Fellowship has humans and stuff in it, and I had already previously built the dwarves and stuff, so like this has a lot of flavor with the Hobbit, more so, but there is a little bit from the Lord of the Rings. So basically what we have going on here is we have a mono red deck, and we're playing Bargain, Shock, Rimrock Knight, Seven Dwarves, Fling, Thrill, Goblin Smuggler, Slaying Fire, Torbrand, Chandra's Outrage, Skargan Hellkite, and Circara. Okay, so like those are the cards, but like here's my like ideas behind this deck. And we can start from the wonder, or what's most interesting, I think, and that I was actually able to do this, was, just check this out, that's not what I wanted to do, is we actually have 13 dwarves. And so the dwarves that visit Bilbo in the beginning of the Hobbit movie there's 13 dwarves. So like that's kind of the coolest part. What happened was I was at 14. Why am I clicking on all the wrong stuff right now? So I was at 14, but I knew there was 13 dwarves. So I was like, okay, like I could do 14 and be like, okay, one of them's Gimli or whatever, which does make sense. Like it definitely could work. But the thing I was noticing is, because I'm playing Seven Dwarves, is like these things never go off like the way like I want them to. Like I very rarely even get 3 on the board at one time. Like, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, when I play a 7 dwarves, people are just like, no, target, removal, and they just get rid of it. So, like, that's fine. So I put it down to 6 dwarves. Plus, like, it's not a Snow White deck. It's a Lord of the Rings deck. So that is the first coolest thing, is that we do have 13 dwarves. Basically, we have tons of burn spells, and so basically what I'm drawing this up to is magic. Like, there's tons of magic in Lord of the Rings. Maybe not, like, so many fireballs, but, like, there is a lot of magic, and Shock's, like, kind of, something that's not a fireball. But magic is very prevalent in the Lord of the Rings movie, so, like, the burn spells, that's kind of what's going on there. Bargain is just a combat trick that I want, because all our dwarves are non-humans, and so being able to pump one and then do additional damage is really nice, especially for 1 mana cost, because initially I didn't even have any 5-drops in this deck. But Bargain is a nice trick, and in the movies, the dwarves barge into a lot of places. So like it kind of works out. Rimrock Knights obviously is just like really good in this deck, because what this deck is really trying to do is basically just reach, is to create reach and just do a lot of damage. It does have, it's pretty good. It's not super great in the early game. Like obviously we don't have any 1-drops, but it is good. Like it's good kind of early game, but like the mid game is kind of where it's the best. And I have been able to grind people out in the long term, like for the long game. but I think like the mid range is kind of like where it's at its best. I did put Fling in here because just mostly because Fling and Torbrand is just like stupid. But the same thing, like pumping a 7 dwarves with Rimrock Knight, getting damage in the early game, and then flinging, like puts us in a really good position for the mid game. So like that's kind of why I did it. And like if you've seen The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, like there's dwarves being thrown around like on somewhat on the regular. Like I can't specifically tell you when, but like I know I've seen Lord of the Rings I know I've seen dwarves get chucked in the Lord of the Rings movies. So like that's definitely a thing, and like that's definitely something fun to do and fun to watch. All right, so then we have our Thrill of Possibility. Initially, my wizard in the deck was the Ironcrag Pyromancer, and my dragon, my Smog Dragon, was the Lock Dragon initially. But like after like testing and playing the deck a lot, like the Ironcrag Pyromancer like really never went off because we're not playing our lands into the late game, and when I was playing earlier, like I would usually end up rummaging my lands away before I could ever play Ironcrag Pyromancer and like a draw spell in the same turn. Like I needed basically to have Lock Dragon, which becomes a huge target, and I had needed to have the Lock Dragon out, and then like the next turn play Ironcrag Pyromancer and then attack and like get the trigger there. But like it just never worked out. Like it wasn't concrete enough to be. It just didn't happen enough. So it's like okay, like I just gonna ditch it. But having Thrill of Possibility still is nice in this game. The other thing that's cool about it is in The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, like the whole idea is like they're going on an adventure and there's a very low probability like that like they'll actually be successful on this adventure. So I feel like the Thrill of Possibility is kind of one of the themes in those stories, if that makes sense. Don't know if I'm reaching, but the girl in this card is. Okay, now here's where it gets a little funky. There's no hobbits or halflings in Magic right now, or in like Standard. Basically on Arena, there's no hobbits or halflings cards. So I've substituted in 3 goblin smugglers, and these are our thieves. Like these are our thieves for our fellowship, pretty much, is the goblin smugglers. Now it actually like it's pretty good because they come in with haste, so they can just do damage right away, which is really nice, and they can smuggle each other, which makes sense. But like I was saying, a lot of times we don't get that many 7 dwarves on the board. So what I've been finding that works a lot with the goblin smugglers, aside from them just coming out with haste and doing damage right away to like a clean board, is making a 7 dwarfs unblockable, pumping it with Rimrock Knight, and then sometimes flinging after that. That has happened a couple times today when I was just testing, and this was the first day that I put Goblin Smuggler in. So the 3 Goblin Smugglers are supposed to represent our 3 Hobbits, which kind of doesn't make sense because this is supposed to be more about the Hobbit and not the Lord of the Rings, but they all kind of intertwine, and most people who tell any of these stories, even Hollywood, like there's inaccuracies everywhere, so whatever. I don't want to get into it too crazy. Slaying Fire, like this card is just like crushes. This wins me a lot of games. What's really nice about this card art too is that the girl, I think this is supposed to be Cerkera, is killing this dragon with a lance, similar to in The Hobbit when Smaug gets killed with the Dragon Lance or the Black Arrow. I forget what it's called right now. I'm trying to do this live, no script. But so like that's really cool too, and like so the card art kind of like backs up some of the stuff from the movies. And there's another card art in here that I really like, and I think it goes with the movies really well. Torbrand's here. He's basically just our leader, our Thorin, or our Gimli, if you will. This card, this card just creates like so much action out of nowhere. Like if Torbrand goes unchecked for one turn, and I have like any of these spells, like same thing, like smuggling, dwarves, attacking, flinging it. I've even won games where I Rimrock Knight Torbrand, got in for damage, got in for basically 6 damage, well 8 damage, and then I flung him after, and so they don't get the +2 anymore because he's removed, but it's still like the 6 from when he was pumped from Rimrock Knight, and that's like 14 damage right there. Torbrand just like can make the game nasty. I'm sure you guys have seen a bunch of Torbrand Brawler Commander where it's just like he gets dumped onto the battlefield and then like there's 14 or 18 points of damage out of nowhere. Chandra's Outrage is another really nice card. More dragons, but also damage to face and a creature. That was kind of the thing I went with. Like I could have gone with Scorching Dragonfire, but I kind of just always wanted the ability to go face, like if I had to. So that's kind of why I chose these burn spells as opposed to like Lava Coil or Scorching Dragonfire, which are the first ones that come to mind. But being able to go face is just it just makes them more flexible, especially later in the game when it's like, okay, I need to pull out a win here, like this turn or the next or whatever. So being able to remove creature from the board and still go face with this card is really nice. Obviously, there's no issue playing the card because we're mono red. And so let's talk. So Sir Kara is supposed to be our wizard. She's supposed to be our Gandalf. There really isn't a lot of red wizards. Like I said, Ironcrag Pyromancer is really the only one, and I haven't even played that much with Sir Kara yet because I just added her in early today. Like so, I've been doing a bunch of stuff early today, and I also want to do this video like for Thanksgiving, Fellowship, thanks. Stuff like that, Unity. I thought this would be kind of like a cool deck to talk about and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. So, Sir Kara is our wizard. I know she's a knight, but she can basically do direct damage, and with tapping her to deal 1 damage to an attacker. So that's basically, I can't think of a spell right now that just does 1 damage, but basically she can, she throws a fireball or a little lightning bolt, and she can do 1 damage to face or any creature. So like that's very magic-esque, if you will. So, and I mean, look at the art. Like, I mean, she has a staff with electricity. She's basically a wizard. Like, I don't know. I think they just made her a knight so that they could fit her in with those like token, where each deck has their knight, like Sir Conrad and the other ones, whatever the heck they are. They're not important compared to Sir Conrad. But this is our Gandalf. Sir Kara is our Gandalf. She looks like a wizard, so she's a wizard, and I don't care what anyone says. One of these actually has flavor text that I really like too, that I feel like fits. I think it's Thrill. So Thrill, like that's what I was saying. Thrill is kind of like there's a low probability that any of the quests would actually work or whatever. But the flavor text reads, remember all great heroes who were careful and never did anything risky. Me neither. And so like that's kind of the same thing that like Bilbo says in the beginning, whereas like he wants to go on an adventure, but like there's that whole idea in his head that like, he really doesn't want to leave, and even in the Fellowship, he kind of repeats that again, where it's like, it's risky to leave the Shire, but like you'll never, if you don't do anything, you'll never be anything. So our last card is Skargan Hellkite, and this is the card art that I really like. Like this is our Smog, and like this card art is basically Smog burning down Lake Town. That's why I love it the most. And like if he just didn't have that like skull mask on his head, like I'm pretty sure they put that there just so people wouldn't call him Smog. I mean, I don't know what else. Like, there's images on. You can look at images on Google and stuff, and like some of the snapshots from the movie are like look just like this. Like this looks just like Lake Town, and this looks just like Smog, except he has like a skull mask hat thing. But basically, Skargan Hellkite is... Okay, Drakuseth is the best Smog, but Drakuseth is just way too much mana for me to play. So Skargan Hellkite is a better pick, and I actually originally had two versions of Smog. So I had one Skargan Hellkite. Initially, I had Lock Dragon as my my Smog, but like, which doesn't make any sense other than the fact that he's a dragon. So then I was like, okay, like what card is really more like Smog other than Drakuseth? Like Drakuseth is Smog, like he's just spitting fire on everything and everyone, but he's like 7 mana, so I'm not playing Drakuseth. So Skargan Hellkite is the most like him. And my other dragon that represented Smog was the Opportunistic Dragon, which fits in the 4 slot, and it's a little bit nicer. And so my reasoning for Opportunistic Dragon, let me see if I can just pop him up, because I clearly, so I can't spell. So Opportunistic Dragon, when it enters the battlefield, can steal a human or artifact. So like that was like that text box to me, like not stealing the humans, but more so stealing of the artifacts, because like everybody knows, Smog is basically holding like all the treasure captive in the dwarven city that I can't think of the name right now. Trying to do this live was a really bad idea. Makes me sound not as Hobbit savvy as I actually am. But the Opportunistic Dragon basically can steal artifacts and treasures and stuff like that. So that's why I was like, Opportunistic would be good. And it's a 4-drop, so it might be playable a little. Might see more play than Skargan Hellkite. But Skargan Hellkite can, if you give it the +1/+1, can just spit fireballs at stuff. So, like, and the card art is Lake Town and everything. So, like, that was really dope. And two other little pieces. We do have Dwarven Mine. There is the last Hobbit movie, more dwarves come. So like, that's kind of a thing. And dwarves do live in mines, and just recruiting more dwarves for Mordor. We do have Dwarven Mine just to make some more dwarves. And then we also have this really nice mountain art, and like, I don't know, like this is, to me, is like the Misty Mountain you have in kind of like the bottom left intersection. If you cut it up with the rule of thirds, the bottom left intersection, you have like the adventurers there. You have like some eagles. You have the fog. You have the mountains. Like this, to me, this card art is like, this is the perfect land for the deck. I don't know. It just feels very Hobbit and Lord of the Rings-esque. And for our final and last piece, we are rocking the Soul Ring sleeve. Obviously, because this is like the Fellowship of the Rings. The ring is everything. So, with that being said, this is my Fellowship of Dwarves deck, loosely based on the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings lore. Obviously, there's probably some better pieces that you could find in Modern, probably, but I think in Standard, like for starting a Dwarves deck and then building it into something like this, like I think this is best. It's pretty successful, actually. Like, obviously, you're not going to want to play ranked Standard with it, so I mostly just do the play. And play with the dwarves, and whenever they give me one of the challenges to like earn gold, where it's like, because that is something that I like to do, because it like kind of forces you to play the other colors and stuff. But when it's like, play 20 red or green creatures or whatever, anytime there's a keyword red in one of the challenges, like I'll usually play the dwarves deck, and or like any red spells or whatever. And so like it's just a really fun deck to play with. And so that's going to complete my deck tech portion, and I am going to show you guys some gameplay. If you think there's better cards that fit in this, or just give me your straight up reaction to making the Dwarves Fellowship deck. I mean, like, what do you guys think about it? Would it be something that you're interested in playing? If you do play it, let me know how it works for you. And with that being said, let's just get into some games and see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes. Toy Story Scrum Gang? TSSG? Not really sure I know what that means. This is an okay starting hand because we do have the Rimrock. And potentially, if we draw 7 Dwarves right now, like, I'd be pretty happy. We're not going to. So I think I just play the Rimrock Knight. This is the one thing that I wasn't... Oh, they might be playing Simic Flash, honestly. Maybe not. I mean, they're definitely playing Simic. I just don't know. Well, maybe they are. Oh, they're playing Simic Middle. So we have to get rid of as many cards as possible. I think we just start going to the face. They might have Unsummon here. No. Okay. Okay. That's not good. They don't have any interaction, which is kind of nice. So I'm just going to play... What's nice is our creatures... Okay. I was going to say, our creatures really aren't that valuable. Like, so... You know, them playing their counters on like a 7 Dwarves really isn't that bad. I don't like that Wilderness Reclamation though. But they are dead in a couple turns from our Hobbit. We can also fling if they go to... Yeah. We actually should have just let them... But now they lose Brazen Borrower too, so... And now they're basically in the realm of getting effed up when I if I can get Chandra's Outrage and Slang Fire and the Hellkite. I actually don't mind that. I don't mind a little more mana. I think it's going to be tough to actually play. So are they going to go... I don't think they should try to be milling us now. I think at this point we just wait. And if they want to use their mana, I can use some of my instants in exchange. I'm pretty sure Skargan Hellkite is going to get countered if we play it. Yeah. And then if they let us... If they tap out again, we can just Chandra's Outrage and win. Oh my god. Is our Pune Dwarf gonna win with Barge in? That would be so dope. I mean, they have to. Oh my god! Yes! Oh no. I kind of want to try the Chandra or the Hellkite, but I'm just gonna wait. Because, like, we're so close. All we have to do is get him to tap. Yeah. More magic. We almost won with the Dwarf, though. Like, that would have been really sick. That would have been so sick to win with the Mining Dwarf. That would have been awesome. Some Asian dude. It's pretty vague. Alright, so this is like a typical starting hand for the Fellowship of Dwarves. Like I said, I haven't played a game where I've had 3. Well, I guess I haven't played a game where I had 4 or more dwarves. I think I've had the most fun though, like playing this deck for the whole Throne of Eldraine series. Probably since I've been playing Arena, and I've only been playing Arena for since Core 20. I had MTGO before, and I played that, but like I got into Arena around when Core. I think War of the Spark was. I don't think Core 2020 was actually out yet, and I think I downloaded it when it was just War of the Spark, and then like I got into doing a lot of the drafts that way. So we have our nice mountain Fellowship of the Ring with our fellows, with our questiers. Whoa, is it time for the dwarves to go off? This is Azorius too, so like they might not have. I guess they probably have like Prison Realm and stuff like that, and potentially ways to bounce our dwarves. Such a good card. This card would be even better if the women had beards, because like I've seen like a bunch of and heard a bunch of people talking about like dwarven women, and even the dwarven women had beards, which is kind of cool. So here our Goblin Smuggler isn't going to be that good, but when they start removing our dwarves, it'll probably get better. And the Goblin Smuggler can actually smuggle Torbrand, so like that's a thing, and that's pretty nice. Also, Goblin Smugglers can smuggle each other, which is cool. Which makes a lot of sense too, because it's like, how useful are the hobbits? Like the hobbits aren't like as straight up impactful when all the dwarves are together. Like they do like help out in the movies and in the books. So fling is definitely probably going to be the way we win, I think, here. But like the hobbits aren't like as impactful during combat as like all the. Yeah, I was just gonna fling it anyway. Sorry. Fling is a way that I win a lot of games, and burning, and so like the magic is obviously like our opponent is Nemantium. Yeah, like fling is definitely a way that I win a lot of games, and my burn spells. Sometimes I win from direct damage from combat, but a lot of times it's like a Torbrand combo, or like with fling and or. So basically, like our interaction wins us a lot of games. I'm just gonna kill this thing. Get out of my way. Oh, I kind of wanted those lands. Those would have been nice. Oh, another land. Be thankful. Oh. Another dwarf goes to the graveyard. The nice thing here is I can just put this Goblin Smuggler out. And I think they're just mono blue, as far as I know right now. They're not like the Dimir. They're not like that Demil. Oh, so they're blue-white? Weird. I wonder what kind of mill payoffs they're actually playing with. I think we still just drop the dwarves and potentially wait for good times to start casting some of our instants, our burn spells, our fireballs, if you will. It would be nice to actually play with Serkera for a couple rounds. So now we're in the range of Into the Story. Okay. Or you could just scoop. That's so weird because, like, in the mill decks, they really want, like, you to be at 7. And usually, like, I have a Dimir deck that I play with, the standard one, that Nam 2, the Nummy, like, kind of got me into. The whole, like, Vantress Gargoyle beatdown Dimir deck. And, like, that was really cool. Playing with that is really fun. It's just, like, it just draws really weird sometimes. And like I think getting the biggest thing with that is like getting your mana right, because there's so many cards that have like just the mana requirements are kind of hard. Like there's like the Cry of the Carnarium, and then like you're Into the Story, so it's like you have, and there's some other cards and stuff in it too, like, but there's you know, like there's like some turn 3 double black and some turn 3 double blue, and it's just like, it just makes it really weird. So it just makes it where like you're kind of restricted by your mana. So this is actually a hand that I don't really want to start with. Obviously we don't have any of our 2-drop creatures, so I hit keep. I did not mean to hit keep. I actually do that a lot while I'm playing, which is like really not good, and I need to be better at it. I was really hoping to get a piece of mana there. A little piece of mana. One of our Misty Mountains. Oh yeah, we're about to get rocked. Maybe. I'm just gonna pass. We're gonna let our Hobbit. Our Hobbit rogue. Goblin rogue. I like that it's a rogue, too. That makes me feel a little bit better. Yeah, so one of these, if we get another piece of mana, like one of these is probably going to get Chandra. Or we could just go with Torbrand, because, you know, that's a thing. I shouldn't have attacked. That was dumb. Because I could have smuggled Torbrand and just been doing 5 damage while using some of those spells. Yeah, I was going to say, they're going to definitely try to get rid of it. You know what's funny, too, is, like, if I put another Torbrand in... Okay. So the weird thing is like, this guy can't even kill Torbrand. I think we just go... with the Chandra's Outrage, though. To make it a little bit, to make Tomek a little bit smaller. Still dies, yeah. Now I can't attack with Torbrand, but... Oh, yeah, I can. No, I can't. It's cool. I wish there was like an It's Cool emote, or... whatever that is. We can barge in with Torbrand though too. I don't feel like they're playing the interaction that they should be. Maybe playing Serkera is the best thing here. Or we could just Slaying Fire for 6. It looks like they want to do something to it. I think just Slaying Fire for 6 is probably our best bet. I don't know what they can counter with triple white, but we can give it a shot. Yeah, because if we just play the Slaying Fire again next turn, like, we're fine. That's kind of okay. I should have done the barge in thing. Yeah, so let's win. Let's try and win with the dragon. I don't think I've gotten any wins with my smog. Yeah, so it doesn't lose. It doesn't lose his abilities with Sky Tether, which is good. Does he have another Rally of Wings? Nope. Awesome. So that was our 4th win in a row, I think. So we'll just do a 5th and see what happens. I think we had a couple of people like scoop really early, but that's probably because the presence of dwarves is so intimidating, you know. Like if I saw somebody, but see, like these decks aren't. I mean, like they are not the decks we're playing against are not like the pinnacle of standard right now. You know, I mean they're just like these weird hodgepodge decks that people are, for whatever reason, playing with. I think I'm going to keep this just because my mana's good. And I shouldn't have kept the last one. Oh, the ring is speaking to me. Hopefully we draw one of our 2 drops. Well, another mountain or a 2-drop is fine. The haste creature. This is really funny, actually. Like, I played a Gruul deck the other night, and, yeah, so I think we just Slay and Fire the Zoroark Goblin. I was playing Gruul the other night, and I got, like, the biggest board, like, I have ever gotten with the Dwarves deck. Like, usually the board stays pretty clean, because people are just removing a lot of the creatures. Yeah, so we'll just go with that, get a dwarf, and that's fine. And then next turn, if they attack with Rebel Belt, oh, it can't be blocked, that's cool. So he's probably going to attack with Rebel Belt, and then we can, you know, not do very much. But if they don't do anything with Torbran, we'll be fine. And more than one creature. That's cool. Yeah, so they're about to go full aggro. Which is fine, because we'll be able to play Chandra's Outrage, and we can, like, fling something if we want to. We obviously have to Chandra's Outrage the Sunder Shaman. So we're probably going to be... Although I don't think he's going to want to attack with Rebel Belt Runner. Unless he has, like, Might of the Masses or something. So maybe I just take whatever. I'll just take whatever damage. I don't know what he's trying to do with 1 green. It has to be Might of the Masses or something like that. Okay. Oh, I thought they were at the attack step. So that gives them a lot more plays. I think we might, if they tap out, We have 6, or we have 4, 4, and 3, so that's 11. Oh, that was a pretty good play. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, even though they killed the 7 dwarves, like, ooh, we got one right back. So I still think I'll attack first. And then I will Chandra's Outrage, the Sunder Shaman. Do another 4. And then we're in a pretty good spot. Because next turn we can win pretty soon with these cards and Torbrand. Even without Torbrand, we can kind of win in a short amount of time. I mean, that's not good, unless they just pump up. Wow. Oh, GG. GG, Gruul. So we just got bested by Gruul. We went 4-1. And it was pretty awesome. Like, I really, really enjoy the Dwarves deck. I really enjoy the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave a like. I also do want to say, because it is Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I just want to let you know that I am thankful to be making YouTube videos. I am thankful to be able to play MTG Arena. And I'm thankful to be able to have Thanksgiving food tomorrow. I'm thankful for a lot of shit, honestly. I mean, there's some stuff I wish I could change, but, like, you know what? Like, over everything, I am thankful for a lot of things. And I'm thankful that anybody or yeah, I'm thankful that people are actually watching my YouTube videos, because a lot of them are just like, sometimes I go and watch my stuff and I'm like, what the you know? But honestly, like, I am thankful for a lot of things in my life, and I appreciate being able to do this and have this opportunity, even though it is more of a hobby, and I wish I could spend more time doing it, but I don't. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. If you want to support the channel, subscribe. And if you want to, let me know what you think of this deck. Like, I really want to know, because I've been spending like a month building it, and then I just had the ridiculous idea of how to theme it, and I think it's cool, man. And it's definitely fun, and it's not something super serious, and it's good sometimes, like, when you get wrapped up in like all the meta standards for standard or for limited or for whatever. Like, it's still fun to just kick back and play like casual Magic. How many words did I just mess up? I misplayed more words than I did in some of my videos. So I appreciate everybody for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next video.